Hello everyone, wishing you all a very good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing fine, fit, healthy, safe, happy. So we begin today's class. This is lecture 3 on magnetic effects of current. Am I audible and visible? Can you just raise your hands and tell me that everything is fine? My voice is getting on the other side of the screen where you all are sitting. Audible and visible myself or not?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. So tell me what we discussed in the last class. What was the last thing that we discussed in the last class? I think we were discussing something on the helical path. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how to write the equation of velocity? Did I tell you that? No. We did not discuss that in great detail. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll just give you a fair idea of how to understand it. Let me assume that this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. Okay. Then what do I assume here? I assume that my magnetic field is like this, B, and my velocity is here, V, at an angle theta. Now, this is the basic premise of the helical path. Now, I can resolve this V into two components. I don't call them by cos theta and sin theta because cos theta and sin theta may be confusing. I call it as V parallel and V perpendicular. Do you understand the meaning of V parallel and V perpendicular?
Yes, sir.
V parallel is the component of velocity which is parallel to magnetic field. V perpendicular is the component of velocity which is perpendicular to magnetic field. Now, how does it move? It moves like this. This is how it moves. The helical path. The distance between two circles, or I can say the distance moved in one complete circle, is known as the pitch of the helix. Then there is the circle, the radius r of the helix. We have done that. What is the radius r of this helix? MV perpendicular by QB, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What is the time period of one turn?
2 pi m by b.
Where is Q? 2 pi m by QB. And what is the pitch of this helix? What is the pitch of this helix? V parallel multiplied by T. Do we understand this? Now, here,
Yes, sir.
if someone tells us what is the x, y, and z component of velocity, or what is the x, y, and z component of displacement, or what is the x, y, and z position of the particle, or vx, vy, and vz, or ax, ay, and az, what would you say? X, Y, Z, Vx, Vy, Vz, Ax, Ay, Ac. Can anyone tell me? As a function of time, obviously. The X, Y, and Z coordinates of the particle as a function of time. Vx, Vy, and Vz as a function of time. Ax, Ay, and Az as a function of time. What will you say? Anyone would like to tell me anything? What will you say? If I talk about X, Y, Z, Vx, Vy, Vz, what would you say?
Sir, x equal to v parallel into t.
Well done. That is correct. What about Vx? What about Vx?
Vx is v parallel, sir.
Okay, so we have at least something to play around with. Vx will be v parallel times t. X will be v parallel times t, correct? Vx is v parallel. It's nothing but the, see the relation is, you find the derivative of dx by dt and you will get vx, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And you find the derivative of vx, you will get a.
A
That will be equal to
0.
0. The problem might happen or occur in finding out the value of y, vy, ay, v, vz, and az. How do I solve it? How do I get the value of vx, vy? Vx is already done, so I'm only more concerned about the components y and z. How do I get the y and z component? So to get the y and z component, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write z here. I rotate these axes. How do I rotate this axis? Right now, your positive x-axis is here, your positive y is here, and if I have anything else, the positive z is coming out like this. Now what do? I hold this, I keep this constant, I hold this, and I rotate it by 90 degrees. Tuk, 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 tuk. Now once I rotate it by 90 degrees, what happens? This x-axis goes inside, and this z-axis comes here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Z-axis comes here, x-axis goes inside. Now how does the figure look like now? How does the figure look like now? Now this is your new coordinate system. It's not a new coordinate system. This is the original coordinate system turned by 90 degrees. Your x-axis goes like this. Remember, this is the positive direction of axis that I'm drawing. I cannot draw positive x-axis coming outward because then it becomes a left-handed system. This is still a right-handed system. Wherever you draw a system of x, y, and z, x cross y has to be z. Then only it becomes I cross j has to be k. Then only it becomes a right-handed system. If you don't have I cross j as k, it is not a right-handed system, it's a left-handed system, and the system is wrong. Got my point? Yes or
Yes,
no?
yes,
Got
sir.
it? Okay, now let us take out this z-axis. Let us take out this x-axis. I just wanted you to draw it. Now if I look at it, my magnetic field, oops, my magnetic field is going inside, yes or no? Along x-axis, positive x-axis, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
My v parallel is also going like this, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What about my v perpendicular? My v perpendicular is like this, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then I can draw, then I can understand how this particle moves. And since I have just drawn the diagram a little bit on the left side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all drawings and I'm going to draw another diagram right at the center so that we are able to understand what is happening here. This is your plus z axis, this is your plus y axis, this is your minus y axis, this is your minus z axis. Is everyone following me here or am I alone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So your magnetic field goes inside cross B, your V parallel goes inside cross V parallel, and your V perpendicular is here. Now this is V perpendicular. Now now you know that it has to move in circle. Now, how does the motion look like now? Now, initially the motion was like this, tuck, 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 tuck. It was going like this, tuck, 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 tuck. Now, what I've done here is I've changed the x-axis and I've turned it by 90 degrees. So this tuck, 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 tuck motion turned by 90 degrees looks like this, tuck, 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 tuck. It looks like this now. You see the circular part right in front of you, and this circle is going ahead. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
That's it. If you understand this, we are done. V is up, cross B inside, force will be here, That means the center of the circle will lie somewhere here. Yes or no? Oh. And this distance will be equal to r. Is everyone getting me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And this r will be equal to mv perpendicular by qb. We have already discussed that. Now what do I do? Just draw a circle like this. And you see, I'm done. I'm done. Let me use a eraser to take this out. And let me make it more bigger. Oops, still using the eraser. Okay, this is my minus z axis. Got it? Now see, now
Yes,
I can easily find out where the particle is at any point in time. Its original velocity was v perpendicular. Now how does it move? It moves like this. Yes or no? Yes or no?
yes, sir.
And it's going like this. Going like this. Done. After time t, where is the particle? Now this is the uniform circular motion. Don't at time t is equal to 0, particle is at here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
At time t is equal to t seconds, it moves an angle theta. How much is this theta? This theta is omega t. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Omega is angular velocity. QB by m. Yes or no? I
Yes,
have
sir.
the velocity like this. Remember, the magnitude is v perpendicular. Direction has changed. I can resolve this velocity into two components. What are the two components? One is along minus z axis, and the other one is along plus y axis. So this is my y axis component vy, and this is my vz. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This angle is theta. Now it is simple 5 standard max. This is angle is theta. So this angle is theta. So this is my 90 minus. So this is theta. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So how much is vy?
V perpendicular into cos theta.
Prakash. V perpendicular times cos theta. How much is vz?
V perpendicular sin theta.
With a negative sign. It's now minus z.
Yes, sir.
In this particular case that I've drawn. V perpendicular sine theta. Yes or no? How do you get the acceleration? You can always get the acceleration also. You can differentiate this, or you can get the acceleration in a different way. How will you get the acceleration in a different way? Tell me. See, common sense. The acceleration is always directed towards center. Yes or no? Yes or no? Hello? Are we there? Anyone there? Am I audible and visible? So acceleration is like this. This acceleration can be resolved into two components. This will be acceleration ka z component, and this would be acceleration ka y component. Now this acceleration, this will be force divided by mass of the body. Yes or no? Force will be q v cross b. Q is q. V cross b is vb. The perpendicular velocity v perpendicular. The angle between v perpendicular and b is is 90 degrees. Qvb by m. That becomes your this acceleration. This one. Now this acceleration can be again broken up into two components. This will be 90 minus theta. So ay becomes minus a sine theta, and az becomes minus a cos theta. If you integrate this, you will get this. If you integrate this from 0 to 2, you will get this. If you differentiate this, you will get this. Oops, wrong arrow. You differentiate this, you will get this. If you differentiate this, you will get this. Are you getting my point, everyone?
Yes, sir.
See, so simple. I don't have to integrate and differentiate if I just understand the problem. Now, so what are the x component? X component and the x component, the x component of position we have already found out. How will you find out the y component? See, it is here. So this is the z component. It is here. So this is the y component. I understand that my drawing has become a little bit absurd, but I have drawn so many things there. How much is z equal to? Tell me how much is z equal to? Minus of, negative, minus of,
R minus R cos theta.
shabash, minus of r minus r cos theta. Well done, where theta is omega t, where omega is qb by m. What about y component? What about the y component of position? Y coordinate? It is simply r sine theta. I have not used integration, I have not used differentiation, but again, if I differentiate this, I will get this. If I differentiate this, I will get this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So we have done the complete analysis of this helical path. Everything that is supposed to be known is right on your screens. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands that we understand this? Sai Teja, Sai Lusha, Vishnu, we understand this?
Yes, sir. Understood.
This is the most comprehensive way in which this can be done. I hope you have understood this. Same thing I think is here given in your sheet that I've already sent it to you. Everything similar, but the only thing is the sign convention may be different. What I have done is according to the diagram that I had drawn. What they have done is according to the diagram that they have drawn. They've taken minus z on this side, and they've just changed the axis. So their y-axis is like this. Their positive y is here, positive z is here. Then where is their positive x? Positive y is here, positive z is here. Remember, it has to be a right-handed system. So where is their positive x-axis? Positive y is here, positive x is positive z is here. Where is the positive x-axis? It has to come out. Are you getting my point? It has to come
Yes, sir.
out. So they have drawn it according to that. Howsoever you draw it, you will always get the same answer. Answer doesn't change. This is what that is shown in this. The complete analysis is here. Did you read that complete analysis before coming to class today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that would have helped you a lot. This complete analysis is given here. That is all that you had to do for this particular case. Okay, then you can solve the simple problems here. Okay, what I am going to do now is, as I told you, they are the most. Let me start with the motion of this particle in a magnetic field or in an electric field. Now we'll do it under this heading. Let me get my whiteboard on. Whiteboard would be here. Okay, so basically what we are going to do is to do it with the force of with the Lorentz force. Now what is Lorentz force? What is Lorentz force? Did we discuss Lorentz force in the previous class?
Yes, sir. Q of E bar plus V cross B.
F is Q E bar plus Q V cross B bar. V cross B. I told you this is an electromagnetic force. It takes into consideration both electric and magnetic field. Electric and magnetic field depends on your reference frame. Now, if you are in a reference frame, if you are in reference frame where you only see electrostatic field, F is equal to QE will be your force. Now, how will the motion of the particle be like this in this field? Case number one. What can be case number one? Case number one for this one. What can electric field do and what can magnetic field do? Now, electric field can change the velocity of the particle. When I say it can change the velocity of the particle, it can change the magnitude of velocity as well as it can change the direction of velocity. Case number one, if Original velocity v is parallel to E. Original velocity v is parallel to E. What type of motion the particle will have? What type of motion the particle will have? F is equal to QE, nothing else. What type of motion this particle will have? The motion will be a straight line motion. The motion will be a straight line motion. Yes or no? Depending on whether the particle is your positive charge or negative charge. If it is a positive charge, the speed will keep on decreasing. If it is a negative charge, the speed will decrease. It will become 0 and then it will turn back. Yes or no? The motion would be a straight line motion. Case number 2. If the velocity and E are perpendicular to each other, then what? Or they are at an angle. What happens? Remember, I'm talking about a fixed electric field. I'm not talking about an electric field which is varying. I'm just talking about fixed electric field. There's an angle V and E. There's an angle between V and E. What happens if there's a V and E के बीच में एक angle है?
Projectiles.
It will be a projectile motion. We all understand this. This is same as the motion of a particle in gravitational field. The only thing is you replace gravitational field G or G by QE by M. Do we understand this? Just replace G by QE by M and you have this condition. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what happens if you don't have electrostatic field, you only have magnetic field? We have already seen that case. 3 things are possible. The first case, V is parallel to E. V is parallel to B. What happens here? Nothing
0.
happens. Nothing, right? It just keeps on moving in the same straight line. Yes or no? Case number 2, V is perpendicular to B. Then you have a UCM, uniform circular motion. Third case, V and B at an angle. Then you have what you call is as helical path, which we all discussed. Yes or no? Can I have some raised hand? That we understand this, sir.
Sir, understood.
Now let us come to the cases where these come together. These come together. So now I have case where E and B both are present. E and B both are present. We'll do it case by case. Case number 1, V velocity is parallel to E is parallel to B. What happens? What happens in this case?
Straight line, sir.
Straight line. Accelerated straight line motion. Velocity may increase or decrease depending on the charge. Magnetic field will not do anything because it will not exert any force. Case number 2. There's a very peculiar case here. V is perpendicular to B and this is also perpendicular to E. Now, many a times we will encounter this case and what will happen in this case? There's a very peculiar question that comes that is based on something known as a Hall's effect. Have you heard this term, Hall's effect? Have you heard this term, Hall's effect? So whenever this question comes where you find all these 3 perpendicular, and such type of questions will definitely come in your JEE Advanced in multiple choice. Have you heard about this Hall's effect? Don't get confused. Let us say, for example, my V is like this. Okay. And my magnetic field is like this. Now, V cross B, if you see V cross B, the force will be in the upward direction. Yes or no? This is the magnetic force. The charge is plus Q. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, you can create an electric field which is going downwards. Electric field. You can create an electric field which is going downwards, and you can create a condition where this Fm in magnitude is equal to the electric force, but both are opposite in directions. You can create. That means you can create a circumstance where QVB, because angle is 90, is equal to Q into E. Or you can create a circumstance where VB is equal to E. In this case, the particle will, even though there are electric and magnetic fields present, the particle will continue to move in the straight line with uniform velocity. This is known as Hall's effect. You would have seen this equation coming in EMI. Did you remember this equation in EMI? It comes
Yes, sir.
in where? Motional EMF. Same equation comes in motional EMF, where you have electrostatic force and magnetic force equating each other, and then you have a battery, a moving conductor becomes a battery. So wherever you see this question of V and B and E perpendicular to each other, this is the question. This is the type of question that you will encounter. In SC Verma, you might have seen there are questions where instead of this electric field E, you have gravitational field G. Question is of something of this nature. I have a charged particle, for there is some magnetic field that exists in the horizontal direction. I project it westward or eastward, and it does not fall, and it moves in a straight line. Why does it move in a straight line? Because the force of magnetic force is in the upward direction, and that force is equating what? That force is equating what?
Magnetic force.
That force is equating magnetic force. This is a question of what we call as the Hall effect. Do we understand this? So whenever you have a question of this nature, it has to come from this part, the Hall effect. Will you remember this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm looking for something. Let me see if I get it. Okay, I'll come to that. Now, can there be another circumstance? I can create again. See, whenever you get questions on this case, the questions would be from special cases. Otherwise, the question becomes too complicated for you to solve. I can create a third case where E is parallel to B, and both of these things are perpendicular to V. What happens in this case? Till then, I find what I was finding. What happens in this case? What happens in this case?
Sir, parabola. Projectile only.
Projectile only. Why do you think it's projectile? Why do you think it's a projectile? Okay,
Circular and projectile, no, sir.
let me bring this scenario in this way. For example, I have V like this. I have V like this. I probably missed the mix the two scenarios. I have V like this, and I have magnetic field like this. My mind got diverted to what I was finding, and I got distracted. B is like this, B is like this. What happens here? You have what? A circular path, right? Now, if I create an electric field in this direction along x-axis, what happens here? What type of motion will I have in this case? What type of motion I'll have in this?
Can't be determined.
Can't be determined. Why do you think it can't be determined? What
Means
makes you?
along x and y both are accelerated.
It is accelerated along x and y. Okay. Now, think again. Think again. Think again what will happen here. Now, what will happen because of V and B being perpendicular?
Circular, sir.
Circular. And what will happen because of V being parallel to E?
Straight line.
Its velocity will keep on increasing if it is a positive charge, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this will be a helix with increasing pitch. Are you getting my point?
Sir, three are mutually perpendicular, no, sir.
Three are not mutually perpendicular to each other, beta.
Okay,
V is
sir.
parallel to E. V is parallel
Yes.
to E. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
V is parallel to E, and that is why you have this. I just mixed the two scenarios. Actually, I was looking for SC Verma. I just wanted to solve some problems from there. I just could not find it on my PC. That is why I got distracted. Okay, the fourth case is a very simple one, which I talked about, where you have a particle which has velocity 0 and E is perpendicular to B. And in this case, what happens? This case, what happens? It will have, that is the part where we think about the cycloid. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are talking about here is that if you have different types of motion, if you have different orientation of electric and magnetic fields, you can have different types of motions. Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see if I have some questions here on this one, but since I can't find that, I will have to start with this. Charge particle in C. This is the first one, charge particle in E and B. The combined force is known as Lorentz force. We have already discussed this. Yes or no? Lorentz force. All three are parallel. What happens?
Straight line, sir.
All three are parallel. What happens is a straight line motion. Yeah. These are the questions that I was looking for. So let us start with these questions and chalo. Now we can start. I was looking for these questions. These questions are taken from SCV actually. I was looking for this question. Okay, which of the following combination of E and B is possible if a charged particle passes undeviated from any region? What combinations are possible? These are the type of question that will come to you in an examination hall. And you must be very confident about these questions. Okay. What happens here? Which of the following combinations of E and B is possible if a charged particle passes undeviated from a region? It does not deviate. What are the conditions possible? Look at the first condition. E is equal to 0, B is equal to 0. Is it possible or not?
Yes, sir.
Nothing will happen. It will just keep on moving in the same. We are assuming that magnetic gravitational field is not present. Look at point number 2. E is not equal to 0 and B is equal to 0. Is it possible that the particle goes undeviated? It moves in a straight line?
Yes, sir.
Give me the example. Give me the example. Remember, they have talked about undeviated. So you can change speed, but you cannot change the direction of velocity. That means you can have a case where V and E are parallel to each other. It will go undeviated, but the speed will change, and hence point B is correct. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
See, E is 0, B is not equal to 0. So basically E is absent, B is present. Can it happen that the particle goes undeviated? If yes, tell me the case. If yes, tell me the case. What is the case in which the particle will go undeviated? E is 0, but B is not equal to 0.
Sir, V parallel to B.
Yes. See, you have to think hard. These are the questions that are going to come in the exam. Case number 4. B is not equal to 0, E is not equal to 0. So both are present. Can the particle go undeviated?
Then 3 are parallel, sir.
When?
3 are parallel.
When 3 are parallel, yes. So you have all the 4 options correct. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Question number 12. In the above question, the charged particle passes undeviated without changing its velocity. I don't know. Without changing its velocity, that means the magnitude should also not change. So which options are correct now? The magnitude should not change also. Direction should not change. Yes. Magnitude should also not change. What are the possibilities now? Tell me the possibilities. 4 options are given to you. What are the possibilities here? What are the
All
possibilities?
are parallel, sir.
What are the possibilities here? Option number A, is it possible or not? Option number A,
Yes,
possible or not? Yes. Option number B, possible or not? E is not equal to 0 and B is equal to 0. Can the particle go undeviated without changing its velocity? E is not equal to 0, B is equal to 0. Can the particle go without changing its velocity? Is it possible? It is not possible. Yes or no?
yes, sir. Not possible.
It is not possible. Case number 3. E is 0, B is not equal to 0. Parallel. It just goes parallel. It is possible. Yes or no? So C is
Yes, sir.
possible. What about D? Possible or not? It should go undeviated without changing its velocity. Basically, it should not change velocity in magnitude as well as in direction. Remember this condition, Hall's effect? Remember this condition, Hall's effect? Magnetic force in the upward direction, electric force in the downward direction. Remember this? The
Yes, sir.
particle, yes? Yes, tell me.
Possible, sir.
Possible, na? So the options that are possible are A, C, and D. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
A, C, and D. Now look at this case. E is parallel to B. Theta is not uniform. E and B are constant and uniform. So condition is like this. This is the condition of helix with the increasing path. I think I made a mistake in the previous thing that I told you. Again, as I told you, my mind was working somewhere else. I told you which case. I think I made a mistake there. Here. Do you see this? Do you see this case? Case number 3. I probably did a mistake here. The velocity should be like this and electric field should be like this. So I made a mistake in case number 3. That is the time I was looking for that book and my mind got distracted. So when will you have this helix with increasing pitch? This is the case where you have helix with this increasing pitch. E is parallel to B and V is at an angle. Do you understand this case?
Yes, sir.
So V is here. So you have two components, V sine theta. Nothing happens with V sine theta because V sine theta components remain fixed. Because of this V sine theta component, it is moving in circle. Who is moving it in a circle? The magnetic field is moving it in a circle. Right? So V sine theta component remains same. But this V cos theta component, because of this electric field, is always going to keep on increasing. So this is helix with increasing pitch. This is the condition. I wrote it in the first case, then I rubbed it and I made it something else. That happens when my mind gets distracted. Do you understand this? This is the
Yes,
case
understood.
of helix with increasing pitch, right? And here they have done the entire thing. What is the pitch? What is the radius? The radius remains same. MV sine theta. It does not change. So everything is done. And here you have, if you want to note it down, you can note it down. You have this, right? In any case, we had done this part. And here it is the increasing pitch wala part. The pitch is keeping on increasing here. Do you understand this? Helix
Yes,
with
sir.
increasing pitch, right? So I think we have covered almost all parts here. And there are some miscellaneous problems which we can discuss. We can have a problem based on this. Let us discuss this. I have time. A long straight wire carries a current I. A particle having a positive charge Q and mass M is kept at a distance x naught. Again, I think this is taken from SC or somewhere, maybe Rodo. From the wire is projected with a velocity v. Find the minimum separation between the wire and the particle. Do you understand the question? You understand the question? A long straight wire carries a current I. A particle having positive charge Q and mass M is kept at a distance x naught. So this is the wire, this is the particle. It's projected towards it with a v velocity v. So it is projected like a velocity v. Now this wire is going to create magnetic field. Because of this magnetic field, it is trying to move in a circle, but this magnetic field is not constant. So the radius of that circle will not be constant. So the direction of velocity, remember the magnitude of velocity will remain same, but the direction of velocity will keep on changing. So there will be a point where it becomes parallel to this wire. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You have to find that minimum distance. How will you find it out? How will you find it out? Have you done this question before? Done this question. Force on the wire. Force on the wire is remaining. Have you done this question before?
No, sir.
Okay. How will you do it? Any idea? See, I'll quickly go through. Do you understand the diagram? This is a current carrying wire. It is thrown here with a velocity v. Yes or no? This is x
Yes.
naught. Magnetic field is constantly changing in magnitude. In direction, it is always inside, but in magnitude, it is changing. The particle will be like this, will be moving. The velocity of magnitude remains same, but the direction will keep on changing. You can find the force on the particle. The particle is confined to move in the xy plane because magnetic field is in the z direction. The particle will move in the xy plane. So at any time, I can find the force on the particle q v cross b. Velocity will be I x hat plus a y hat. But and you cross it with the magnetic field. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, once you have this cross product, then you will have this as force. If you divide this force by the mass, you will have the acceleration. When you have this acceleration, you will have two components of this acceleration, one along j axis and one along I axis. I axis wala will be ax and j axis wala will be ay. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So they found out ax. Ax is dvx by dt. So they have written it as vx into dvx by dx. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then vx square plus vy square has to be v square because the magnitude of velocity does not change. Yes or no? So they
Yes, sir.
found out the value of vx dx in terms of vy dy. Put the value here. Remember, when it comes at the minimum separation, this entire velocity which was along x now becomes along y. Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
basically, you need a relation between vy dy, vy dvy, and x dx because you have to find the value of x, and you know that this entire velocity which was horizontal now becomes vertical. That is why you end up with this equation. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Now once you get this equation, in this form, you can integrate x from x naught to x and velocity along y from 0 to minus v. Why minus v? Because it is going downwards. You will get the value of x and it will be in the form of e raised to the power of something. Can I have some raise hand that everyone understands this? Sai, Vishnu, everyone? Okay. Now, this is that question that we are talking about so many times. An electron is released from origin at a place where a uniform electric field and uniform magnetic field exists along negative y and negative z axis. So this is negative z, this is negative y. Find the displacement of the electron along the y axis when its velocity first becomes perpendicular to the electric field for the first time. So this particle starts from rest at this point. E and B are perpendicular to each other. What type of motion this particle follows? What type of motion this particle follows? E is perpendicular to B and initial velocity is 0. What type of motion this particle follows? I told you about that motion, right?
Yes, sir. Cycloid.
Cycloid. That is the motion of a cycloid. That is the motion of a cycloid. How do you solve this question? I'll give you 2 minutes to think about it. Okay, can you tell me one thing? In which plane will the particle move? In which plane does the particle move? In which plane does the particle move? Anyone? In which plane does the particle move? Magnetic field is along z-axis. Particle is at rest. Electric field is along y-axis, so it can only affect the y-axis. So it is going to change the y-axis wala velocity. And magnetic field is along z-axis. So this particle has to move along xy plane. Yes or no? Even if you don't understand xy plane, even if you write plus uz into k, nothing will happen because there will be no force coming along k axis. Are you getting my point? Electric field is written as minus ej. Magnetic field is written as minus k. This is an electron, so you apply the Lorentz force ka formula. Minus e is the charge of the electron into e plus u cross b. You get the force acting on the particle. From this force acting on the particle, you can find the acceleration of the particle divided by m. Now, once you find out the acceleration of the particle, you can find out the x component of acceleration and the y component of acceleration. X component of acceleration will be dux by dt, which will be written in this form. It should be coming like this. The y component of acceleration will be duy by dt, which will be coming in this form. Now, when you see this form, it has ee by m, and ux into b. Now you have to solve this equation. Now this equation becomes difficult to solve, but if you understand something, it becomes pretty simple. What do you understand here? What you have to remember in solving this equation? Remember very importantly, to differentiate this once more. This part, this term goes away, and then you have dux by dt. Once you have dux by dt, it becomes ax. You put the value of ax, which will be in terms of uy. So you have duy d square uy by dt square. On this end side, you have uy. So now this equation comes in the form of d square x by dt square is equal to minus omega square x. Here x is uy, and this is the equation of what?
SHM.
SHM. Omega becomes EE by M. So now you can write it in the form of an SHM. You can write it. Uy becomes A sine omega t plus delta. Duy by dt becomes this. At time t is equal to 0, you know the value of uy. From here, you can find out the value of uy. It will come in this form. When will the electron become perpendicular to y-axis? When is uy becomes 0? Uy becoming 0 means this becoming 0. Omega t becomes equal to pi. Time becomes this thing. So this is how you solve this part. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Then once you know the value of time, you have to find the y coordinate. Where does this happen? So you use with uy is dy by dt. Then you start integrating, you know the value of time. You can get the value of y as a function of time. Once you put the value of time in this equation, you will find out at what position this happens, at what value of y, or for that matter, what value of x this happens. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this was all about the motion of a charged particle in an electric field or a magnetic field. We have combined everything. We started with the electric field. What electric field can do? Again, just a recap. Electric field can change the magnitude of velocity. It can also change the direction of velocity. Magnetic field can only change the magnitude of velocity. We saw different cases where we had combined electric field as well as magnetic field. We saw Hall effect. We saw helix with an increasing pitch, in which I made a mistake. We also saw the cycloidal path and how to solve the cycloidal path. If you just do all this and the question that we had done, do you have SC Burma with you? I could not find it here. That created a lot of problem. Do you have SC Burma with you?
Yes, sir.
In this chapter, you go to magnetic force wala chapter. I think magnetic force is first, magnetic field is later on. In that you have multiple option correct type questions. Please solve those questions. Will you be able to do that?
Yes, sir.
To solve just the objective part of SC Verma, that is really good. Solve those questions. They have all types of questions there. What happens when E is 0 and B is not 0 and B is 0 and E is not 0? I wanted to solve those questions. I was looking for them. I could not find my copy of SCV where it was. That just distracted my mind, and that happened. Okay. So what are we going to do in the next class? We'll do magnetic force on a current carrying wire. We'll concentrate ourselves on the force on a current carrying wire, and we'll try to wind up this part of magnetic force so that from the next class onwards, we can start with EMI, and then we can wrap up EMI and AC in the coming classes. If there's anything that you want to ask, you can ask me. I'm here. Else I can wrap up the class now. Take care. Bye-bye.